Dear students, let's start lecture number 20 on the topic malware and its types. And this is part number 1. So we will be covering malware and its types in 2 lectures. So let's get started with the outline. So first of all, we will be revising we will be revising data encryption standard part 4. And then we will be discussing malware and its types. In the malware stands for malicious softwares. So we will be discussing these are the types of malware. There are some other types. We will be discussing those in our next lecture or in the next part. So we have adware, spyware, browser hijacking software, and then I'll give you assignment at the end, and then I'll show you the references I have cited, so you can go through them, through each of them to get more or explore more knowledge about the topic, and then we have a question answer session. So before start with revision, I will just make a brief explanation of how DAs perform. Like this is general structure. Like you, first of all, you pass 64-bit plain text, and then initial permutation is performed. Initial permutation is a permutation is a jugglery of bit position. So your bit of stream will be divided into 2 halves, left half and right half, and then it will be passed through round 1, where key transformation receives it and pass it to the expansion permutation. As the name suggests, expansion will be done and permutation will be performed, and then it will pass to the X box substitution, P box permutation, and XOR swap operation. And then your round 1 finishes and passes to the next round. So this way you will pass each time to the next round after performing these steps. So after 16 round, final permutation is done, and final permutation gives you is a ciphertext. So as I hope that you understand this thing, that in the science of cryptography, sender encrypt the data and receiver decrypt the data. So as this is DES is used for symmetric cryptography mechanism it uses. So the same key will used by sender and receiver for encryption and decryption, but for the decryption it uses that key in reverse order. So let's start with the revision of lecture number 19, data encryption standard algorithm, part 4. So these are the properties of DES, data decryption. As you know that I have mentioned this, that in the scenario of cryptography, encryption is done by the sender and decryption is performed by the receiver. So the same algorithm is used as DES, also based on the symmetric encryption standard. So same algorithm will be used for decryption, but in reverse order. The only difference is reversal of key position. If the original key is divided into, if K is the key and it is divided into these like K1, K2 and K16 subkeys for the process of encryption, then for the decryption the key should be used as 16, K16 and K15 and so on up to K1. So this is how the decryption will be performed at the receiver side. Now the strength of DES is, as the inner working of DES is public, general public, everybody knows this, and the explanation of this is widely available over the internet. But the strength of DES is its keys. As you know that DES is based on 16 rounds, and for each round you have a different sub key. So and that key is you cannot even predict that what kind of key is used, because you have a 56 bit journal key, and from the 56-bit journal key you produce sub keys. So it is very difficult for the attacker or intruder to guess that which key you have used. So that's why the strength of DES, data encryption standard, lies in its keys. So that and that's why the data which is produced by the DES is more secure. As your DS is based on 56 keys, so this number is produced. So this is impractical for the attacker or intruder to get into a system or the document. And these are the variations which are available widely in the market, like double DS, as the name suggests, performing DS twice with two different keys, and triple DS. So triple DS, so the process of DS will be performed thrice with the three different keys, and triple DS, DS will be performed thrice but with the two different keys. So these are the two variation in the triple DS as well. So how double DS works? So double DS does twice what DS normally does only once. So double DS uses two keys, as the name suggests. It performs DS on the original plain text using K1 to get the encrypted data. It again performs DES on the encrypted data, but this time with another key, K2. The final output in the encryption text, the original plain text encrypted twice with two different keys. As you see in the diagram, that you have original plain text, and after applying DES with this K1 as a key, so you will get the cipher text. And here, once DS is performed, and after receiving the cipher text, DX is applied again on it with this key this time, K2, which is a separate key. So you again, this will be encrypted, and you will get the cipher text. So I think that you can guess the protection level of the data, that here you from the K1, 16 sub keys will be produced inside K1, as the DS is based on 16 rounds, right? And here this is a different key altogether from the K1. So 16 sub keys will be produced inside this K1, K2, sorry. So you will you may guess it like you have 32 different keys, 32, 16 within a K1 and 16 within a K2 sub keys. So 32 keys, they will be used to encrypt the data, and finally you receive the final cipher text. So you can guess that how difficult it would be for the attacker or intruder to guess or to get the original plain text back. So this would be very difficult for him to guess that. Now, triple DS with three keys. The idea of the triple DS with three keys, the plain text blocks P is first encrypted with a K1 with a key K1, then encrypted with the second key K2, and finally a third key K3, where K1, K2, and K3 are all different from each other. So in the last slide, like we have double DS. So DS performed twice, but here DS performed thrice. So DS will be performed here, DS will be performed here, and DS will be performed here. So you will be getting 16 sub keys out of K1, 16 sub keys out of K2, and 16 sub keys out of K3. So DES will be performed thrice, and finally you will receive the ciphertext. So you can guess the protection level, that how secure your system would be, that no intruder or no intruder or malicious user will be able to get into your system. Triple DES with two keys. So encrypt the plain text with K1. Thus we have encryption with the help of K1 of plain text. Decrypt the output of step number 1 with K2. Thus we have decryption with the help of K2 and encryption of K1 of the plain text. Finally, encrypt the output of step 2 again with K1. Thus we have encryption with the help of K1 and decryption with the help of K2 and encryption with the help of K1 of the plain text. This is also called encrypt decrypt or EDE mode. So here you can see that two keys are applied. So this is K1, this is a different key, and K2, and here the K1 is applied again, but two keys will be applied. So DES will be applied, DES will be applied thrice, but the key will be, two keys will apply, but two keys will be supplied to 3 DES. So this way you can minimize the computation in a triple DES with two keys. So, and you can make your data secure. So this is another variation of DES. So let's start lecture number 20, malware and its types. So what is malware? Well, malware stands for malicious software. So normally it is designed to gain access or install into the computer without the consent of the authorized user. So normally this is, you may call this is intruder, or this is attacker who wants to get into your system. So normally such kind of software is used by an attacker or a malicious user. So perform unwanted tasks in the host computer for the benefit of a third party. So the party which is supporting them, so to please that, in order to please that party, they want to perform unwanted tasks in your computer. There's a full range of malwares can seriously degrade the performance. So this is one of the you may call it that one of the consequences of the malware, that it can seriously degrade the performance of your system or machine. Here's a full range of malware simply written to distract, annoy the user, to the complex one, which captures the sensitive data. Normally, this is the main job, that captures the sensitive data from the host computer and send it to the remote server. So various types of malware present in the network. So some of the most important are, so first one is adware. As in advertisement or advertising, you may call it. So a special type of malware which is used for forcing advertising. So you can see that different kind of advertisements are coming into your system. So either redirect the page to some other advertising page, or pop up an additional page which promotes some product or event. This adware are financially supported by organizations whose products are advertised. Now, spyware. Spyware is a special type of which is installed in the target computer, which with or without the permission of user, or designed to steal sensitive information from the target machine, gather the browsing habits of the user. You may call it as a trend monitor, and send it to the remote server without the knowledge of the owner of the machine. Most of the time they are downloaded into the host computer while downloading freeware or free application programs from the internet. Most of the time we try to find free software over the internet, and when we find some, we just download them without checking that this is official site or not. So with that kind of software, you normally download spywares into system, and what they do, that they steal your sensitive information which is available and pass it to the server, and with that your habits or your trends are monitored. So spyware may be of various type, can be track of the cookies of the host computer, and can act as a logger to sniff the banking password and sensitive information. So once you have spyware on your system, so they are actually they hide their self inside your machine or a system, and then they act as a keylogger and try to sniff your sensitive information and pass over to the third party or organization. Now, browser hijacking software, some malicious software downloaded along with the free software offered over the internet and installed in the host computer without the knowledge of the user. This software modifies the browser settings, redirect links to other unintentional sites. So the most important thing is that whenever you install such kind of malicious software, what they do, that they change your browser settings and redirect your sites to unintentional links. So be careful about these browser hijacking softwares. Now, with that, we reach end of this lecture. So this is assignment. So name at least two malwares of each type with their cause, prevention, and solution. You can find this information over the internet. You find the different kind of malwares which are available, and then you find different with their examples, that what are their causes, and how you prevent, and prevention and solution. So you can explain this and submit through KCMS. So these are the sources which I have used, which I use for making these slides. You can go through them and explore more knowledge about this topic. With that, if you have any question, you can ask me through KCMS or WhatsApp, or you can email me. You can see my email address, which is shown at the end of this slide. You can email me the question. I'll be more than happy to answer your question. With that, we reach the end of this lecture. So thank you, and till next lecture, Allah Hafiz.